You can't uproot what you haven't understood.
And when it comes to mental health stigma, the fear, the silence, the judgment,
it didn't start with your
workplace. It started centuries ago.
Welcome back
to Thrive at the Top. I'm Mabble Munyimani, your host and founder of Complete Wellbeing Global and the creator of the Safe Pillars framework.
Today's episode, we're doing
something a little bit different.
We're going back because if we want
to transform the future of mental health in leadership and work, we have to understand how we got here in the first place.
We're talking about the origins
of stigma. Let's start with the hard truth.
Mental illness was not always
seen as a medical issue.
For a long time,
it was seen as a moral one.
In ancient Mesopotamia,
Greece and Egypt,
mental illness was linked
to demonic possession,
spiritual failure,
or divine punishment.
People were not
treated, they were exorcised, locked away, or feared.
Even Hippocrates, who suggested natural causes,
was rare for his time.
In the Middle Ages, moving on,
it got worse. Mental illness was seen as a sin.
People were branded
as mad, possessed,
or
cursed.
And if you read Great Expectations, like I have,
you remember Miss Havisham? Yeah, the mad woman upstairs, hidden away.
Because stigma taught people
that mental illness should be
out of sight. Moving on
to asylums and institutional control. By the 18th and 19th centuries, mental asylums became widespread.
It was a shift where people were
institutionalized, not just blamed.
But it still wasn't care.
It was containment.
Conditions were horrific. Restraints, overcrowding,
isolation.
People were hidden, not helped. Even the moral
treatment movement, which aimed
for humane
approaches, still carried the shadow of shame. The core belief was that mental illness made you less than, and that belief
still shows up
in our boardrooms, in our offices, in our aeroplanes, underground, wherever we're working, just in quieter ways.
Now,
modern stigma, new packaging.
Fast forward today.
We have neuroscience, we have psychology, we have advanced diagnostics.
But stigma hasn't
disappeared.
It's just become more
subtle, more professional. Think about it in your workplace. How is it showing up?
In Australia, only
16.5% of people with depression actively seek help.
Globally, 1 in 5 people
will experience mental illness, but most won't disclose it at work.
Why? Because people fear
what they don't understand, and what they fear they will try to hide or control. What does that look like? Leaders fear being seen
as unstable, teams fear being labeled as weak, and organizations still build cultures around
performance
and not around
people.
Why this history
still matters is what you're probably thinking.
Stigma didn't come out
of no. It was shaped by centuries of fear, of shame, and systematic
control. Which means this isn't just the HR issue
we face today.
It's a leadership one.
And until we address the root cause of stigma, we're just painting over the problem.
And the root is this. Mental illness
has been treated as something to fix
instead of something to understand. That mindset
lives
in your policies, in your language, in your treatment of when someone
says they're struggling,
in your silence.
But it can be changed.
So how do we
uproot stigma? Through structure. At Complete Wellbeing Global, we don't just raise awareness. We help leaders build foundations, systems that make well-being part of workplace structure. That's what the SAFE pillars is for. The S, self-awareness, noticing emotional health in real time. A, accountability, shared responsibility from the top down. F, foundations, embedding support into workflows, not afterthoughts. And E, empowerment, normalizing conversations, storytelling, and safe disclosure. Because when we understand the root of anything, the root of stigma, then we can uproot it. So here's my challenge to you today. This week, start a conversation. Not about burnout, not about stress, but about belief systems. Ask, what do we still believe about mental health in this workplace? Even if we never say it out loud. What are the beliefs in your workplace for yourself and for the workforce? And then if you're ready to shift the culture, not just talk about it, book your workplace safety and resilience consultation, and let's start rebuilding from the root. I'll see you next week in the next episode as we break down mental myths buried in leadership. Expectations. Live well and don't just survive at the top. Thrive.